Alrighty peoples, I have been rolling up the old fence down the bottom. If I get stuck into it today, I may have, well, the majority of it rolled up, and then there'll just be the original plain wire fence, which you just sort of go along and snip, 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 and yeah, we'll have most of it rolled up except for a little bit up the top, which I've already started to pull out anyway. It's just a matter of untying it from where he's got it tied to the other plain wire fence, or around whatever he's got it tied around, sometimes even around trees, and just pulling it out of the grass, and you sort of lay it flat and you come along and just roll it up. But there's like 2 or 3 layers. Some there's 2, other times there's 3 layers, and then there's the plain wire fence itself. And we're flying ahead with that. I went in, got into a big gnarly area, and yeah, found there was a big dead branch in there, and cut myself up a whole heap of logs. Some of the bigger ones down the bottom were hollow, and they're going to be useless, and I'll probably just burn that with all the other African box thorn and all the other little bits of rubbish, and the bits with the primarily leaves and stuff like that. But the heavier bits is, oh, I'm not joking, they're probably about almost a foot across. 2/3 of it dry but not rotted, and the other third of it still was live. That was a big one that was hanging over the fence, and yeah, it's flipping sawdust in my eyes. I have also been chopping some of the dead cypresses out there, and I just dropped another one, and basically ran out of fuel, and I think that's enough for today because I got sawdust through every flipping place you could think of. What's this? I'll take my boots off. What's this? Oh, there's more coming out. Yeah, the wind tends to carry it all into your big open top boots. But yeah, the little, what's his name, I've sort of died off. I thought I'd lost it, but it's come back, the lemon-scented verbena. And I don't know if I didn't put a bit of fertiliser in here, come to think of it, but now the warmth has come, it's sort of coming back too again, and a couple of bits of grass and crap here. So that's good. Another thing I've been doing is the pavers. All along there. All these ones here. I whacked those down about 20 minutes last night after spending ages trying to get around this. These were down in a matter of blooming 20 minutes, and I thought, bloody hell, I could have done this a long time ago. Now this other one was too fat, and I actually split him. I could see there was a bit of a fault, so I hit it with the back of the log splitter. You can probably hear the winds. We've got phenomenal winds today. Anyway, it's split into 2. That one and that one there. So that'll be sort of better because it's sort of thinner up here, saves me digging out more, but I will endeavour to work on that during the week. This will all probably get eaten by the sheep anyway. When they do come in here. This stupid gangly ass thing, I've had this sitting here for ages. I cut some of the sheet metal out of it for use for flashings and stuff like that. And well, it's been here like some bloomin' hillbilly mess for bugger knows how long. So I got the axe into the bloomin' thing, and then a bit of tin snips, and I separated the sides from the plastic bits. There's your spin dryer. There's a couple of electric motors, I'll probably chop those off and keep those, because motors individually, because of all the copper inside them, are actually worth quite a lot more. But yeah, it's something I've been meaning to get rid of forever, and finally am getting sorted, but I got all the stuff that's coming out from these trees and stuff down below. There was a lot of polystyrene boxes and rubbish my uncle had that blew down there and caught under them, so my whole wheelie bin is basically full of polystyrene boxes, and I still can't fit the last one in. Now this thing come out too. I should be watering him a bit more, but that was sort of starting to come out. Looks like this one here too is about to pop stuff out as well. My uncle loves having bulbs and whatnot. This is one my mum had, but this is looking a little bit gangly, but this is sort of a succulent that can handle a lot of dry weather. And she didn't water, that was in a tiny pot, and she didn't water it for months and still survived. So I gave that a bit of a water this morning. I might give this another bit of a water. I have had more spring onions come up, and I have planted about 60 or so in this. I've got to give this a water too, just to keep it all damp. It's drying out a bit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Lettuce and silver beet are coming up in this one. A lot of the other ones I put in didn't survive, but I'll show you some of the wire that I've rolled up if it hasn't blown away. So yeah, there you go. I've got to get on with a bit of washing and whatnot. As for this job, I think it may nearly be over. We haven't been paid, and sometimes they pay us a day late, and we still weren't paid a day late. And you may have heard about the Japanese, how they just give you nothing to do. And you're supposed to take the hint and get another job. But at least they give you an income until you get another job by giving you absolutely nothing to do, and then you get the idea. And this bloke, oh, you know, we'll have 2 or 3 weeks off. I'm thinking, if he hasn't paid me for the week I've just done, he isn't intending to get me back for any more weeks, is he? And that was the plan, that when the new manager came along, it's sort of, there's a lot of stuff to do and stuff like that. And sometimes he changes his mind so quick that you don't really know, or the manager thinks, like the older manager who's going to leave in a few weeks thinks one thing, but then the owner thinks another thing. But then the owner, bang, he changes his mind just like that. And I think this idea of having the Chinese contractors and then one manager and bloke to do all the tractor work, I think that's what he's playing out. Otherwise, if we were actually going to come back in 2 or 3 weeks, I would have been paid for the week I've just done. So we're going to go down there Monday and see what the go is. And I might be going straight from there, straight into the welfare office to register, which is bloody disappointing because this job was a good job and I could have stayed there for flipping years. But anyway, we've got all the stuff we need for the fence, so it's not like there's nothing to do around here if we don't have any work, but I'm a bit pissed because I was relying on this money to pay for the alternator in the car, and I don't even think I'm going to have enough money to cover the alternator, let alone blooming, you know, refuel the jerry can for the generator, which is getting low and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sort of glad that I did go out beforehand and I bought all these different things I may use that I'm sort of running low on. Sugar, vinegar, batteries for the lantern, all these other little fandangles. And I'm not short on blooming propane for, you know, using it for the hot water. I've got, heaps. You know, I'm probably sitting on 9 months worth of propane easy, I reckon. So that's not going to be a problem. And yeah, only money I'm really going to need is probably just to keep the generator fueled. So I might have to borrow some off my parents, although I basically never do that. You know, just to keep the generator fueled and pay for this alternator until the welfare money comes through, if that's what's happening. But if we find that the money's coming next week, then then I can breathe a bit, you know, so we'll play it by ear from there. But I think, contrary to what we're told, the Chinese, I think, have got a way of telling you not the truth, but something nice, and then you've got to sort of take the hint. Because they don't want to just come out and say, "You're sacked," because it sounds terrible. So they just sort of string you along and piss you around for a while, and then you're supposed to get the idea. Because that's sort of the way it is with Japan. But, yeah. Anyway, we'll see how we go.